Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sammy. In this video, I want to talk about things that I am no longer spending my money on. And these are things that I spent a lot of money on, a lot of time on. And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm being very mindful of where my money goes and what I spend my money on. And especially in this economy, I feel like everyone is kind of shifting to saving money and being very mindful of their purchases and being a lot less of a consumer, I guess. What do you call it? Overconsumption. Everyone's being mindful of their consumption so that way we are not over-consuming. Mind you, I used to be someone that literally overconsumed. I personally would just buy anything and everything just because I felt like it. And honestly, the worst way to go about things, because I had to end up finding a place for these things, whether if it was donating it, selling it, or anything like that. But as a queen of overconsumption within the past few years, I had to figure out what are the things that I really want to spend my money on and how can I cut back, because there were so many things I was spending money on and I didn't even know where my money was going. So there are 7 things that I have on my list that I'm no longer spending money on, no longer spending any time or energy on. And so the first thing would be, I was literally the most consistent person with this, would be lash extensions. I no longer get lash extensions and it's been years now. I used to be a consistent lash extension girl, and I used to be a girl where I'm like, I can't go anywhere or do anything without eyelashes, whether if it was strip lashes, lash extensions. Couldn't even go on vacation or trips or anything like that without lash extensions. I was hooked until I turned, I think, 28-ish. That's when I was like, I don't really need this. It literally was just like an overnight thing. I guess my frontal lobe fully developed and was like, girl, you don't need this anymore. And I was like, you're right, I don't need this anymore. So getting lash extensions is not a thing anymore. I no longer get them. I still think they're beautiful, but for me personally, financially and practicality wise, it's just not for me, because I spent so much time maintaining it, cleaning it, things like that, and going to go get them done. They take 2 hours just to get them done. You had to go in every 2 weeks to get a fill. Just was not great time-wise. And so that leads into number 2. I used to be a girl to where I loved my balayage. I loved getting my hair done. I loved the blondes, the browns, the balayage, all of it. I think one time I spent $400 or $600 on one session. And I think after that, I was like, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. Because again, one, it's super expensive just for you to go back in to get another maintenance or whatever. And 2, I felt like I was kind of over that phase. I was kind of over the bleaching, dyeing, blonde, brown phase. And I was just kind of ready to go back to my natural hair color. Again, I don't know if it was because my frontal lobe was fully developed or not, but I literally just woke up one day and was like, I'm kind of over it. And I think I went to Salon Centric, got me dark hair dye. I think it was a dark brown. I don't even think it was black. I'm not sure. But if it was black, it was probably like soft black. And just dyed my hair, went right back to this color. And so I'm no longer doing that, no longer bleaching, dyeing. I don't know in the future, maybe. But as of right now, nope, I'm not spending any more money on that because I wasted so much time, energy, and money. Leading into number 3, this is something that I used to do, but not like super consistently. I'm no longer going out to eat for lunch and no longer buying coffees. The only time that I do go out to eat is on the weekends. And if the one-off chance that I did not meal prep, I would go out to lunch. Or if we're going on a work lunch, whatever. But previously, I used to go out to eat for lunch almost every day, every other day, whatever. And sometimes even for dinner, I would go out to eat, get some fast food, whatever. I no longer do that. I meal prep my lunches. I meal prep my breakfast. I even cook at home for dinner. The only times that I do go out to eat is either Friday night, Saturday, hardly ever Sunday, unless it's a one-off thing where my family wants to go out to eat or whatever. But no longer doing that. Buying coffee, I used to buy espresso shots from Starbucks all the freaking time. I think every other day, especially when I worked at the nail salon, because that right there, I really needed it, but no longer doing that. I can't even remember the last time I went to Starbucks. I even have a Starbucks gift card that I got. Still haven't used it. It's one, inconvenient because I don't really have a Starbucks near me. And two, I'm not going to wake up earlier to get coffee. I have coffee at home. Again, I don't know if it's a frontal lobe development thing, but we have coffee at home. Which leads me into number 4, which I'm still kind of working on. I am wanting to shift out of it. Number 4, I'm no longer buying fast fashion, and definitely being a lot more mindful on the purchases that I do get, or the pieces that I do get, because I tend to wear the same things anyways, and I would rather invest in pieces that I consistently wear over time than getting fast fashion. A lot of the times in the past, I would just buy an outfit I would wear one night, and I'm just like, why did I do that? That's so dumb, because I would never even wear it again. And so after doing that for a few years, I was just kind of over it. One, I was spending so much money. I didn't even know where my money was going. I don't even know where these outfits are at. And half the time I don't even wear them more than once. And I end up donating them or selling them. It was just all of a waste of a cycle. The only thing right now that I would spend money on for fast fashion would be work clothes, because I am in the office 5 days a week. Right now, financially, I don't have the money to invest in a full wardrobe for a week for work, and especially for good pieces. So I do buy fast fashion for work clothes, but other than that, I don't really purchase a lot. I just purchase a few items and make sure that I will wear them. Which leads me into number 5. I feel like they all correlate in a way. Number 5, buying random things I do not need from TJMaxx or Marshalls. I used to go to TJMaxx, Marshalls, Ross just to browse, and I end up buying so many things that I didn't even use, things that ended up just being junk, and things that ended up being donated or being sold. So again, when it comes to these items, they are definitely items I have been thinking about, looking into, being very mindful of what I'm buying. Doesn't mean that I don't enjoy a good TJMaxx and Marshalls run, because I definitely do. But if I do go, I'm very mindful of what I'm buying and making sure these are things that I need and things that I'm going to use, because I don't want to end up with a whole bunch of stuff and I got to figure out where all of this stuff goes. And number 6, so I never really been a person to use water bottles. The only time that I used a water bottle would be when I worked at the nail salon. I had like half gallon, because if you work in a nail salon, you really need to stock up. You need your snacks, you need your water. So I had a half a gallon so that way I didn't run out of water. And so that leads into number 6, where I am no longer buying the new It water bottle or the new It lunchbox or even the new It purse. These are items that I keep saying mindful, but I really have to sit and think about it, whether if it's going to be practical for my lifestyle, practical for what I'm doing or what the purpose is, and if I'm actually going to use it. And so recently I was gifted the Hydro Jug, because for years I've actually looked into water bottles and I never really gotten into Stanley's because it just wasn't like appealing to me. I don't know why. But I really wanted a Hydro Jug for years, and my boyfriend ended up gifting me a Hydro Jug, but he ended up gifting me 2, and so that's it. I'm not buying any more. And the water bottles that I have, I still use them and they still work fine. Until they are no longer functional, I will be continuing to use them. And that leads into my last and final, number 7, getting random subscriptions. I used to just get random subscriptions because I felt like it, or in the moment I felt like I needed it. In reality, I didn't need it. So with that being said, I no longer waste my time on looking at new subscriptions, buying things on apps and things like that. Whereas before I used to say, I need this, end up never using it. And so now I'm like down to maybe I would say I could count on one hand of how many subscriptions I have. Whereas before, I had so many I didn't even know what I was spending it on. So that concludes my video on things that I'm no longer consuming. We are in our under-consumption course. So if that is you, let me know down below. What are some things that you are cutting back on, and what are some things you are not going to spend money on? Let me know down below. And if these are things that you can relate to, or if you agree, or things that you are definitely cutting back on as well, let me know down below. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe for more videos like these, and I will see you in the next chit chatty video. Bye.